broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Good gracious, ass bodacious, flirtatious, trying to show patience. I'm waiting for the right time to shoot my steam. You know, waiting for the right time to pass these keys. And I'm leaving.
I love that song because it is getting hot in here.
It is.
Maybe so hot I should take off my jacket, but I heard it's cute, so I'm going to keep it on.
Keep it on, girl. It's super cute.
For the sake of this show, I'll keep it on. Hey, guys, welcome to another episode of Real Husbands of Hollywood, Season 4. We're on episode 5 already.
Yeah.
Now, I know we missed last week, episode 4, you know. Don't hate, you know, don't judge us. You know, things happen, things you know, go on. But we will touch on that a little bit as well, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, so Janeisha, I know that you really kind of tuned in to episode 4, which was what? Cabin fever? Cabin pressure.
Cabin pressure is actually this episode that we're going to talk about, but it was Hart Medication part 2. Now, you know, of course, they had the part 1 where Kevin had basically his friends, you know, saw him doing all kind of crazy drugs with Bobby Shmurda. Yes. So, you know, it was time to put him in some rehab. And so in part 2 of Hart Medication, we basically see Kevin in rehab. And, you know, of course, who's going to lead the rehab sesh? Then none other than the rehab vet himself, Mr. Chris Brown.
Yay, Chris Brown.
And it's funny because, you know, Chris comes on as he says he either has to do this or, you know, actually be in the jail cell. So it was like, hey, I would rather lead a rehab session than go to jail.
And you know what is, I mean, we talk about this all the time on this show, how they poke great fun at the real life. Like it's like a fake reality show, but it is still reality. And they really do it quite well because, like you said, I mean, what better person to play like the vet of, you know, I mean, Chris Brown, of course, we love him. And I'm so glad that he was down to, you know, kind of poke fun at himself, too.
I mean, he's been through a lot. And so, like, to now be in that position where he's comfortable to actually just poke fun at it. Yeah. And, you know, it was very light humor. It wasn't, you know, too deep into it because, of course, that was a very touchy situation for a long time. Mm-hmm. But Chris did an excellent job. He was in there singing, talking about ain't no party like a, you know, rehab party. And it was hilarious, you know. And so Chris Brown doing that, I thought it was interesting to have him as the leader of the group session. And then, you know, what I thought was even more interesting, and they took it a step further, was inviting Nia Long on board to play this sex addict.
Yeah. You know? Okay, Nia. That's kind of hot, though.
It is. I mean, considering that she has been every young guy's dream girl
fantasy
throughout the entire 90s and the early 2000s. Like, I mean, up till now, everyone still fantasizes about Nia Long. Shoot, my haircut is Nia Long inspired.
There
so hello.
There you go. Thanks, Nia. Thanks, Nia. Shoot, I might be like going to the salon soon myself. Thanks, Nia.
Yeah. So I mean, it was really funny. It was a funny episode. I will say I don't think it was one of the funniest episodes. Mm-hmm. You know, just because we're keeping it real here, we're keeping it 100. Mm-hmm. You know, at some points I did find myself, I wasn't necessarily laughing. I was just kind of tuning in. And I think for this show, for the most part, usually the episodes you find yourself laughing from beginning to end with very short intervals of you not laughing. And so that last episode, there were larger intervals of me being a little quiet. And I don't like that because I laugh at everything, you know?
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. But, you know, I do definitely give him props for still holding it down, still keeping the episodes going. And then for bringing guests such as Chris Brown, Nia Long, and, of course, all the other people we've seen thus far, as well as, you know, this particular episode, like we mentioned, Cabin Pressure.
Yes. I do want to touch quickly before we move on. You know, I did find that, you know, BET happened to focus on Chris Brown that entire evening that this episode aired. I don't know if you noticed that they are doing like tribute specials to like certain artists, so forth. They did like Trey Songz this evening. And, you know, that same night they did focus on Chris Brown. So it was kind of nice to see them just, you know, paying all this homage to Chris Brown for his entire year. He's been in the industry for 10 years. Yeah. So, you know, it was a nice touch to have him have all of that, you know, going on that evening.
And let's just say, not only has he been in the industry for that long, but he's mastered the industry for that long. Since I can remember him touching the ground in the entertainment business, he's had hit after hit after hit, and then he's
countless hits.
He's incredible. It's almost like a Beyonce, like a guy version of Beyonce. Whatever he touches turns to gold. So props to you, Chris Brown. And I did notice that. And then even is it on BET as well that Punk'd is coming on?
Yes. I think he got punked that evening as well. Or no, maybe like a couple weeks before. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, they also did. They punked him. Yeah. So, I mean, they're just, he's definitely in the limelight.
Yes.
Before we go any further, guys, I did want to make mention so you can catch us. Well, where can they catch you?
And of course, we want you guys to tune in with us and give us, you know, be our co-host every time we talk about the Real Husbands of Hollywood. You guys can find me on all social medias at Janeisha_Miss VI.
And VI, of course, stands for
VI, Virgin Islands.
Hey,
that's my home.
And you guys can also catch me. I'm at Robin Ayers, and make sure you can hashtag us anytime. ABTVRHOH, which is AfterBuzz TV, Real Husbands of Hollywood.
That's right.
And you know, ask us questions. We noticed that people are going on to BET.com and they're asking questions. Feel free to ask us those same questions. Again, we're going to try to get some of the cast members in here before the season's up. And so definitely feel free to join in the conversation with us, guys.
Yes. And I mean, they did ask tonight. They posed this question. Maybe we can ask it now and see if we can get some responses before our show is over. They wanted to know which real husband we thought was the realest. Kept it 100. All the time.
Goodness.
Always. I mean,
oh my goodness.
Come on.
Okay, what do you think? What do you think?
I mean, well, first of all, this is the fakest reality show ever. And so, you know, the fact that they're being themselves, but with like a stretch, you know, it's everything is exaggerated. And so I don't think we technically see them at all, any of them in their entirely real state, because everything is exaggerated.
Yeah.
But if I had to give it to someone, I would have to give it to Nelly, because I think I watched his show on BET, and I think he is, for the most part, the same on Real Husband of Hollywood and on the show. So.
Yeah, but you just think he hot.
Getting hot in here.
Nelly is hot, though. He's hot. But, okay, let's talk about the realness of it. I don't know that we can call any of them husbands except for Boris and Dwayne.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to really break it down, right?
Okay.
I mean, who's the realest husband? I mean, but I get what you're saying. They're all on there, so they're all technically like husbands of Hollywood or whatever. But for technicality purposes, I am going to go with Boris.
You okay?
I'll say Boris.
Boris was my second. He was my second.
Yeah. He's real as far as like he seems like he's just that dude. Sometimes very clueless. Yeah. Sometimes slightly airheadish. But Boris, I love you though. I love you, Boris. I go back with Boris. Like I go back to Soul Food with Boris. So like I'm a true fan. But you know, he seems like he's just that kind of dude.
But he also to me seems like he sometimes could be very serious in real life. Like, you know, just very serious, you know.
I've watched several interviews that he's done, and he's very intelligent. He's very, I mean, he does have that serious side, and I mean, he's got a very impactful story as well. History, you know, as far as his, you know, he's part German. You know, I don't know if you know anything about his story, but just to listen to him speak, he inspires me even. So. I'm not gonna dog him out too much and call him an airhead, but I'm saying I think he would be the realest for me.
Okay, well, he was my second pick, so I mean, hey, top two, we there, but I still think, you know, Nelly got the #1 spot for me. So,
yes, okay, and because Nelly's hot. Nelly's hot in here.
But I will reveal to you guys what the BET.com poll says, and then, you know, maybe we can see who really everyone thinks is #1. Okay,
I like that. I definitely like that. Okay, so let's talk about this particular episode.
Yes, cabin pressure. pressure.
Cabin pressure.
There was a lot of pressure in this cabin. Yep.
It was. And I loved how they started out with Nene. I love Nene, but Nene has grown on me.
She has.
Significantly over the past several years that she's been on television.
I think she's grown on everyone, especially because of the fact that I think even Kevin poked fun at it, where he was like, when your show cancels, and I think for a while in the beginning, some people may have counted Nene out, from early in the game, and to see that she's still in the game, with the shows, with Broadway and all these other
clothing lines and businesses,
all these other business ventures, and she said it herself. Well, she took Kevin's private jet, and she bought herself a little island in the Caribbean. Girl, smart move. Ain't nothing better than a Caribbean island. But go ahead.
I still gotta make my way out. I feel a little left out.
Come on down. We'll talk about that later.
Left out.
We'll talk about that later.
I got an invitation. Okay,
girl, you always have an invitation.
But yeah, Nene she's dope because it actually, to me, it seems like she reflects that in real life. Like, okay, her money is right. You know what I'm saying? Because she's got so many different things going on. I mean, come on, she's on Broadway. I don't know if she's still on her run on Broadway, but
I'm not sure. But it's not even just one time on Broadway; it's a couple times.
Yeah.
So I actually had an opportunity to see her, one of her plays in Philly a few years back, and it was just interesting to just kind of see her in that dynamic.
Very cool.
Coming from a reality show and then just taking it a step further. That's awesome. That's what everyone's dream who enters into that reality show world. You want to keep it moving, and you may not necessarily want to keep doing reality shows.
Exactly. You want to turn it. You want to flip it, and
turn
clearly she has. And
sure
what I loved about watching her, particularly with Kevin, is that she can hold her own. I mean, she's comfortable. She's right there and at home with being on reality, on a reality show, but she's also gotten her acting skills up too. So she was turning it up and just hanging in there with him, because Kevin can be, I guess, a little intimidating in the sense that he's considered right now one of the funniest men alive.
Yeah.
So to go head to head with somebody like that, you really got to have your ducks in order.
She was snapping. What did they call it? The professional finger snap? Oh, she was giving it.
Yes.
You better get work.
So that was really cute. I love how she, she's getting into it with Kevin, and then she ultimately wound up giving or offering to get all the other guys on her plane and leaving Kevin out, which is so right up Nene's alley. And I just thought that was funny. But no, they all decided that they wanted to bond, and they were going to do a little coach session.
After that guilt trip that Kevin gave him, that was some serious guilt tripping, by the way. He was making stuff up, just
was that not funny? I mean, that was
hilarious.
I mean, Kevin never disappoints with that. Like, he can kind of go into the same role all the time, but he never disappoints. It's always funny. So I love that he pulled that off.
And I guarantee that probably was all improv. He probably changed it every single take if they did it, numerous takes.
I agree.
But he's just a trip, because all of them were watching. I don't know if you noticed that Nelly started to smirk a little bit when he said something about his outfit, his Gucci outfit. Yeah. And the guy with the mask that he's always hanging out with. So I was like, okay, he's doing this on the spot. I thought that was super cool.
Yeah.
Can we touch on the fact that they go on the plane now? They all decide they're going to stay. They're going to coach.
Yeah.
But Kevin got that one first class seat, though.
Come on, Kevin.
Kevin.
Come on, Kevin. Yeah, you're going to leave your boys out there like that. But something he would totally do. He stayed true to his character, didn't he?
He's like, I'm trying to connect to this champagne.
Yeah. So that's totally up Kevin's alley. And then clearly all the other guys, like Jackie is riding along. Jackie is hanging in there tough. Okay,
and he plays his role so well. He took Kevin's champagne like, oh yeah, you can get another one. Bring it from me in the back.
Yes.
Bring me another one. He just does his role so well. I think Jackie's perfect for that one. So.
They couldn't find anybody better than Jackie. Like he definitely does that really well. So he's over there talking. Well, actually, I think that they're starting off with Boris sitting next to the young girl or whatever. Everybody's attracted to Boris. What's up?
Did we notice that? But I mean, it's Boris though.
It is Boris. I mean,
and
gosh.
If you go back to Soul Food days, he has not changed one bit. Like
he literally has not changed.
Yeah, that black don't crack. Yeah,
that black show don't crack. Man, Boris. Okay, so anyway, so the little girl is
underage, 17-year-old.
Yeah, what was the deal with that?
I don't know. But her mama was, right across the way with the same whole,
Yes, and clearly she was German too, so she had been peeping game. She was like, okay, Boris, I see you. I've been peeping you. So he's being hit on by the old and by the young, and Boris is trying to keep his head on straight. Meanwhile, Nelly is over in the corner being kind of trapped by the young rapper or the young fan.
Like, listen to my demo. But then turns around and tries to charge him $20. Like,
come on. Such a hustle. You know what I mean? But and then the line of him being him saying, "You're my favorite oldest or my favorite old rapper."
But he's
Yeah, but is he still rapping?
No. We do know that he came off of the TLC tour where, he, basically was pushing his old hits. Yeah. But he's not putting out any more albums. He has his reality show, and I think right now the focus is the kids and maybe some slight touring here and there. But and the show, of course. So.
But at least he's not coming out with new hits, because that's what I'm saying. Like, I think the only one who could really pull that off right now is Jay-Z.
I think even Jay-Z right now is having a hard time connecting with the younger, because there are some young people who don't really know who Jay-Z is in terms of his music. Like, his fans know his music, and it's because he's been the #1 rapper for forever. But right now you got people like Drake, and then the younger generation like people like Fetty Wap, of course, Rich Homie Quan. So
Jay-Z's gonna need to pull it,
kind of has to probably take a seat a little bit, and maybe because he hasn't consistently been doing it, like say his wife Beyonce is consistently doing this thing.
Yeah, but she's also very young.
Yeah, she is.
She's still considered young. She's early 30s. So, but Jay-Z, I feel like, okay, at least he was in there and he built up his, his empire, now, and now he's able to stop. He's obviously transitioned onto so many businesses and everything. He has,
so. But I think what a lot of artists and actors and just people in the industry tend to do, is not bow out gracefully, bow out when they're at that point. Some people just kind of stretch it thin to the point where it's like, okay, now you kind of you're tarnishing your legacy now.
Stop already.
So I will say that, people like Jay-Z, he retired. He came back for a little second, but he got back out the game. Even like Eminem, just a lot of these rappers, they know when to step out. And Nelly definitely is one of those people that knows, it's time to do other things.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I applaud him for that. Yeah. But I also enjoy the fact that people like singers as well as rappers who might be up there in age a little bit now, who they still have us as fans, but they're not putting out any new music, trying to be down with the young crowd. They're like, listen, we'll tour. Because that's the big thing now.
Your hits. It's all about pushing what you've had,
that's
that quality work you've had for years. Why not? Make some money off of that stuff. Yeah. I will say this. It'd be interesting to see him maybe, team up with a younger rapper and do a weird collab, just a different collab. Maybe somebody that could be brought onto the show or something. Yeah. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Maybe. Well, they did that I think it was last season when they brought in Bobby Brown. And remember, I think Ralph Tresvant, do you remember where Nelly supposedly wrote a song for them in the studio?
I do not remember that.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting, but I was thinking wow, what a great way to collab, to bring these two entities together and just,
yeah, definitely
make one is going to kind of leverage off of the other or whatever. So they kind of did their thing. They've had that idea. Maybe they need to bring it back a little bit.
Sure. Do you think that Nelly gets tired of hearing hot in here?
Probably.
I don't.
But the fans.
We don't.
Right. We can hear that all day. Because it makes you feel a certain kind of way. So, yeah, we definitely love seeing Nene. And then we also had that. I love how they brought her into the show, brought her into the shot where she was like, excuse me, on Kevin, excuse me. You didn't know who it was until all of a sudden they're like, they kind of butt heads. And, that was kind of cute. I love Regina Hall.
I do too. Love her. I think she has a slight bit of crazy to her, and I think it's authentic.
I do too. You know what I love about Regina? She's the epitome of the person who she makes ugly faces, but that makes her pretty.
So great with
that
it.
makes her more beautiful to me. That to me is the epitome of a great actor. Someone who's not afraid to go there. You know who does that too? Tisha Campbell.
Yes.
Dwayne's wife. I mean, she just will go all the way in and make faces and everything.
And you know what? It's a testament to how long they have been in the game. These ladies have been doing this thing for a long time, and it's because they're not afraid to let it all go and go all in. And I think we mentioned it before. Everyone who has happened to be on this show does the same thing. They go all in, you know, they don't hold back, and we just see them in true raw art. Like, this is them performing their butts off. Seriously.
Well, at the same time, you kind of have to be in order to hang with someone like Kevin Hart, who's at the top of his game. You have to come and be on top of your game as well.
So I mean, the fact that he and this show can bring that out of everybody, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, this is the perfect platform for people to just kind of just be themselves.
That's right. It's a winning formula. I don't think anybody's losing right now.
I mean, 4 seasons in, of course, like it's definitely showing. I do want to touch on this other lady, because I mean, we'll get back to Regina, because she smacked the heck out of Kevin, and I thought that was super funny. But I like that they also had Nadine on here. Yeah. Nadine Velasquez. And for, you know, those of you who may not know who Nadine is, she has, you know, made her appearance on a few shows, to include Flight with Denzel Washington. She was that flight attendant, you know.
Yes. So how ironic that she's on a flight with the Real Husbands of Hollywood. I thought that was brilliant. And then again, they're playing around with the lower thirds, like the little introduction when they brought her name in. It said, this flight is about to take off. You know, so very cute. I love their little play on words and everything like that. So she did a great job. In that whole bathroom scene with him, and it was just really cute. I love that they brought her on. Yeah, definitely. And then the fact that, you know, Kevin just came from telling Regina that he's going to be a one-woman man. Yes. Because, and you know, we mentioned it before. Well, I mentioned it that I didn't, you know, like a few of the episodes, there was no continuation with former stories. Yeah. And with this episode, we saw that continuation because they brought up now, you know, of course, with Regina coming back on the show, they brought up the situation with Sanaa and Kevin, you know, Sanaa is Regina's best friend, and she and Kevin trying to, you know, do the do. Yes. So, yeah, and very cute, because what I have to give, I guess maybe the entire industry, or maybe it's the execs over at BET, I have to give them credit, because they're doing a great job at work. How we were talking about Chris Brown, you know, everybody's working together to here, this is what I mean. Sanaa, they mentioned her, and they did a little flashback of her on the season previous to this one. I guess it was season 3. Mm-hmm. And she's got her new movie out, The Perfect Guy. You know, so I don't know if that's just some clever way of doing, you know.
Honestly, I kind of think it's timing. Like, it's just like,
you think it's just ironic?
I just think it's ironic because
could be,
because I mean, if you keep them, they filmed these shows from way before. So you know,
but then again, like, maybe they say when they're gonna place
certain things.
Since there's no particular storyline.
True.
They can place any episode at any time. So,
true.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm giving them a little bit too much credit.
Maybe. You know what? We're gonna put it in the atmosphere that this was all brilliant planning.
Because if it is brilliant planning, I just want to applaud them, because we need that in Hollywood, especially Black Hollywood. They need to work together. And
I will say that I think BET has a lot of hand in, you know, organizing maybe the shows around their Real Husbands of Hollywood episodes to tailor to certain artists or certain actors. Like, they may play a movie that had something to do with this person, that person, because they're a guest star on the show. So, you know, I mentioned it with, like, say, Chris Brown, you know. So I do think that they have a hand to play in that. Either way, I think it's pure genius. You know, these actors and artists are definitely benefiting from that.
I agree. I agree. Well, I loved the energy, of course, the synergy that Kevin and Regina have. And of course, we've seen that she was on this episode, or she was on this show before, as well as the movie about last night. I don't know if you've seen it, or if you guys have seen it. Such a great movie. Their energy together and their chemistry is off the chain. And of course, they bring it onto the small screen, and we get to see them play off of each other. So I hope somehow that they bring her back on. I don't know if her schedule will allow for that, but
it was nice seeing her. And we keep mentioning we want the ladies to come back, so it's definitely nice. So speaking of hot ladies, let's jump back to the regular people in Coach, because Kevin is in first class, but apparently the party is turned up in Coach.
I wanted to go to that party. I mean, I haven't seen a plane like that. As a matter of fact, I've heard that Virgin America
has a little party sesh, I think. I'm not sure.
I mean, does it look anything like that?
I haven't been
I'm booking my flight.
We need to book a flight together. But I will say this. Do you notice that maybe, just maybe, this episode kind of gave you some kind of, I don't know, it was a little reminiscent of Soul Plane?
A little bit. Turn up party. And hey, you know, that's where they say Kevin got his like real you know, break, I guess.
Yeah, that was a good movie. I still like, every time I watch it, I'm dying laughing.
So maybe.
I will say that it did remind me in some parts of, you know, of Soul Plane, especially even with the landing part, where, you know, you see the plane and it's like this really gold flashy paint. It just reminded me of when, you know, Soul Plane.
So maybe that'll be clever as well. Let's talk about Dondre for a second. He's kind of holding his own, right? He's getting a little comfortable.
He is. I think it's interesting that they kind of have him like, you know, of course, it's like he's not making as much money as the others. So it's like, oh, you're always in coach. That was so funny.
Oh, my gosh. Like, I think they do that really, really well. Mm-hmm. Who are the writers of Real Husbands of Hollywood?
I mean, obviously friends of these folks, because for you to be poking fun at all my bad times.
That's what I'm saying. We got to be cool like that. Because you're not just going to be in this room writing about me like that. Yeah. Yeah, so I think they do a great job. Hopefully, if they watch our show, they could come in or they could call in or something, because I would like to just,
that.
Where does all that come from? You know?
I mean, and it's just great, again, to see them just bring a little more, bring a little light to the real situations that happen to all these folks, you know, because these things kind of really did happen to them, you know, but now we're taking it, you know, we're making it a little bit of a light situation, and we're, you know, cracking jokes on them.
Yeah, definitely. I want to give a shout out. I don't even know the guy's name, but he really had me laughing hard on this episode. The flight attendant who was the gentleman.
Yes.
Who was threatening Kevin. And
okay, so where do we know him from?
Yeah, where do we know him from?
He's an actor. I've seen him work somewhere. Yeah. So we should find out. Maybe even try to get him on the show. So
he is certified funny.
Yeah.
When he took Kevin and was slightly putting him in that chokehold, that he was like, go to sleep. It's all right. Go to sleep.
Take a seat.
He said, I just had a protein bar. He was about to shove him in the little storage. I was rolling. I mean, that guy, whoever you are, I just got to give you some props and a shout out.
I really have seen it. We got to figure it out. I'll find out. We'll talk about that next episode.
Yeah, I've seen him as well. Anyway, so I thought this was a great episode. I really consistently laughed a lot.
Yeah.
So great job, guys. I really got to say great job. And so hopefully the next episode is just as funny or funnier.
Yeah, I hope they keep the funnies up, because again, like I said, last episode, it was still a little draggy for me. I mean, they had some, you know, punchlines.
Yeah.
But overall, I wasn't getting the funny that I got this episode. Yeah. This episode was good. Beginning to end, it was good for me. I was cracking up.
Yeah, it was really good for me as well. So again, I'm rooting for them for the next episode as well as the rest of the season.
Yes.
Any news, gossip, anything else you want to add?
No, but I would like to let you guys know what the poll says about who we think is the realest. Okay. Where'd it go? Oh, there are my drum roll. Okay, so guess who was right?
You were.
Nelly got the most votes for the realest of the husbands.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So.
All right. Well, maybe he'll be a husband soon, and then I could jump on board.
I mean, I think they don't necessarily mean husbands. We're playing as one of the husbands.
I know. I'm breaking down my technicalities. I'm using all my technicalities.
She just doesn't want to give it to me, but I'll take it.
No, let me give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you. I wasn't trying to give it to Nelly because he ain't certified.
Oh, she said you ain't certain. You better put a ring on it, Nelly. I'm just saying.
That's right, exactly. Put a ring on that finger. Anyway, thank you for the poll. Thank you guys for asking that question. Even please feel free again to write us, type us, text us, hit us up on Instagram, Twitter, all of that good stuff. Again, AfterBuzz TV. RHOH, hashtag RHOH.
And of course, you guys can find me on all social media at Janeisha_Miss VI.
And you can find me at Robin Ayers on all social media platforms, as well as my website. It's robinayers.com. So until next time, guys, thanks so much again for joining us, and we will see you on the next one.
Later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.